Hey everybody, this is Ryan with the Harvey Historical Society. I'm here with Harvey resident Chris Moore, and we just wanted to do a little discussion today. There's so much going on with Harvey. So, Chris, do you want to tell us, just give us some updates? What's going on from your perspective? What have you seen? What's new?
In the city of Harvey, from my perspective as a resident, I have seen political abuse. I have seen trifleness coming from Harvey City Hall. It's a lot of things that could have been done, that should have been done, that should be being done in the city of Harvey as far as public services involved. Chris Clark is speaking of all these open spaces and all of these wonderful things in the city of Harvey, but he has a problem with keeping the basic streets clean. He has a problem, just like this house I'm looking at right here, 15239, right here on Myrtle, where I'm at. This is supposed to be right here by this public space. This is the type of thing, you see that door wide open. It's a lot of things that can happen, that's going to happen. A lot of properties going to be burned down because people have access to these properties. Chris Clark is rated an F in public safety in the city of Harvey. What I'm seeing is going on, nitpicking with the girls down in City Hall. It's embarrassing to the residents of the city of Harvey. It's embarrassing when you have board members on the school board paying $1.5 million bill for some bone-in chicken wings and COVID. It's very embarrassing. And it's a slap in the face and an insult to even for those board members to ask the people of the city of Harvey to re-elect them. A lot of things going on in the city of Harvey, and it sums up to one word, Ryan, and that's corruption.
And what do you, because, for myself, I know, I supported Chris in his election 2019. He had promised, he was a third ward alderman, and he promised to bring a lot of change to Harvey. And I know Chappelle was telling me, no, don't support him. This guy's not honest. You were sort of saying the same thing. So, for a lot of us that did support him, thinking he would actually bring the change that he promised to change, from stuff we didn't like seeing during the Kellogg years. It's been a real disappointment because not only did we not see the changes, but now we're seeing a lot of the same problems and complaints that we had under Kellogg. But now that Chris is doing the same thing, so what can you say as someone who, like Chappelle, you called it early. You said, well, I don't think you guys should be trusting this guy.
Copy that. Actually, I was the first resident in the city of Harvey, the only one to actually do his homework and study the character of Chris Clark. We actually investigated him all the way back to his high school days. We investigated his character, how he was when he left the state of Illinois, when he went to North Carolina. Chris Clark has been into fraudulent activities, financial crime schemes. He has changed his name 3 or 4 times. He liked to flip flop. He is very, just during the investigations of his early years, he has always been abusive and disrespectful to women. Starting early on with Park District Gloria Taylor, Park District Director Gloria Taylor, many years ago. And this was really a long time ago, some decades ago, where people won't remember Chris Clark because then he was going by the name of Clarence. But now he doesn't go by the name of Clarence. It's just his track record. Character is more important than anything. We don't know who we're dealing with. We don't know exactly who he is at what point in time in his personal history as before he came back to the city of Harvey and decided he wanted to be an attorney. The people of the city of Harvey hire him in many positions, from the park district to the library. We had to terminate him each and every time, and now we're going to have to terminate him as being mayor of the city of Harvey.
Oh, could you share with us more? Yeah, what happened when he was attorney for the Park District and some of the other public entities? What happened?
When he was attorney for the library, his work, he didn't show up at court. That was number one. But his greatest incident is when he assaulted the library. I believe she was a director then, Sandra Flowers. He shoved her out of her chair on the floor, pushed her out of her chair because she wouldn't do write up some things the way he wanted, the way that we remember it. And he did an assault inside of the library. He was terminated just simply for not doing his job. He didn't go to court. He was the attorney for the Park District. he did a horrible job. I'm not, just looking at his track record as an attorney. Residents that we spoke to that he took retainers from and never came to court. Residents that he didn't show up for, and a lot of them he never returned their money. So he couldn't be trusted financially. He can't be trusted as a person in leadership. Any type of authority, it has absolutely went to his head, and his character before getting elected into those positions said that he would be the way that he is. So we're not surprised at his the way he conducts business, the way that he teases and abuses women that he feels that is a political threat to him, like Alderwoman Colby Chapman, because he's been doing that his whole life.
Yeah, we purposely chose to do our video on this block because this is, as you can see, right in front of us. So here's Ascension Church, Ascension St. Susanna, the rectory. That's the old school building, and then you can't see behind the rectory, but there's the big old convent. So this block right here that you can see in front of us, Mayor Clark decided on his own, and we just found this out last year in 2023. He decided that he wanted to boot these people out of their homes and build a retention pond, and ultimately make it something called a Central Park. That he planned this Central Park project. Could you tell what do you know about this, and why do you think the mayor would choose to demolish these beautiful church buildings and kick these people out of their homes when we can't even get basic paved streets? What's going on with
9.85 million reasons. There is money coming into the city of Harvey. They don't bid. They're going to come in, they're going to bring this money, they're going to scam from the federal government, from FEMA. And hopefully the federal government is not fool enough to put money inside of a mayor's hands or the WMRD, because the president of WMRD, she can't be trusted at this time. Her associations with Chris Clark, her husband's associations, it all stinks to high heaven. And they haven't really examine the city of Harvey. There's too many open spaces that are wide open. Now I'm talking about a mile if you want it. If you want a retention pond, a mile. For them to elder abuse, to abuse elderly people that have been living here for 50 years. See, Chris Clark's mother got up out of here. She don't still live here. She was able to take the monies that he scuffles in her pocketbooks and leave the city of Harvey. But these people have come here from Mississippi 50 years ago. They have established themselves. They are in their older years. They don't want to move. That's political abuse and elder abuse, for you to put that type of pressure on a person that's 70, 80, and 90 years old. So this goes to show he's walking around downtown, as I saw on a video the other day. He's downtown with Harvey residents. And many Harvey world, they need to come check on their parents and their grandparents, because Chris Clark stated 6 years ago that he made it a fact and a known fact that people don't check on their elderly people in the city of Harvey. When you do that, you're leaving them in danger. You're leaving them in danger to be coerced by Chris Clark, for them to sign over their properties, for them to sell a home that they paid off in the 1980s, to take a $1,500 to $2,200 mortgage while they're 70, 80, and 90 years old. It makes no sense. And when you force an old person into making financial decisions that they're not able to make anymore on their own, that is elder abuse, and it's a felony in the state of Illinois. We have our sheriff is playing along with Chris Clark. He actually endorsed him back in 2019. I don't know what happened in 2023. We have a state rep, William Will Davis, his childhood buddy. He's grinning along with this. We have Napoleon Harris. He's been grinning and smiling for the last decade. Nobody is putting Chris Clark in check. Kim Fox didn't put him in check. We don't expect Elaine Burke O'Neill to put him in check either, because he's under this Democratic umbrella where anything goes in the city of Harvey. Abuse against business people, abuse against residents, abuse against elderly people in the city of Harvey, and nobody's coming to their aid. The people of the city of Harvey have loyally voted Democratic for many, many years. and they have been kicked in the behind by those same Democratic boots. Nobody's coming to their aid and to their assistance when they have questions and need suffering here in the city of Harvey. When they need someone to help them in their time of need, there's no one here for them, and that shouldn't be that way. The entire city hall is a dangerous place to be. You can be assaulted. You can be signed something in the city of Harvey. Your signature can be forged. Chris Clark is not to be trusted. His administration, they're not from the city of Harvey. They don't have any empathy for the people of the city of Harvey. And we can go on and on. It's a sad situation, and it's going to take a political savior to come in, or the federal government to catch Chris Clark doing whatever it is he's doing to benefit himself here in the city of Harvey and offer these projects and take him away from the city of Harvey, lock him up in the federal building downtown and keep him there because he's a danger to public safety.
And Chris, do you know what's going on with, we've researched, and I brought it up with the Harvey Historical Society many times during the past year about the city owns hundreds of parcels of land. So what is going on with, why doesn't the city try to sell or, offer publicly or do something with all these city-owned parcels? What's going on with all this real estate?
Allegedly, according to community sources, our city clerk, Rosa Ambrula, she has access to real estate companies. Our 3rd Ward Alderman, Talani Smith, who put a substantial donation in Chris Clark's campaign in 2019, basically buying her way into alderwoman in 2023, she is also a realtor. They are taking these properties in the city of Harvey and they are selling them privately with people that are elected in the city of Harvey. They're taking these city properties and they are selling them off undercover from the people of the city of Harvey. These homes, the housing stock of the city of Harvey, belongs to the people of the city of Harvey. Under Chris Clark's administration, it belongs to him and whatever his financial backers they are doing and selling our property in the city of Harvey, like some crackheads, like some real dope things. That are what they're doing in the city of Harvey.
Wow. And do you think that all this is connected to maybe? We've heard maybe it's connected to the airport or the casino, or how are they making money with this property?
They're not making money right now. They're making personal money and splitting it up. They are selling off little pieces here, $30,000-$40,000. They're splitting it up, $10,000 here, $10,000 there. They're just keeping their beaks wet here in the city of Harvey. No real financial entity is going to do business with Chris Clark. He has shown us he cannot pass state audits. He cannot present an audit. He has an excuse. And that's another thing, another crackhead excuse. Instead of bringing out paperwork and what you did with millions of dollars in COVID money, you got over $346 per resident in the city of Harvey during COVID, and it was 19,000 and over 19,060 residents in the city of Harvey. You don't have accountability for one dime. All properties in the city of Harvey are being stolen by the current sitting elected officials, Dominique Randwell, Tyrone Rogers, Talani Smith, and our city clerk, Roseanne Brula. That is the allegations that the people of the city of Harvey has brought forth to the federal government. We do have residents that have been speaking with the federal government, and they are being investigated for these things.
And then why do you think, with all this going on, and we've gone so many times, we've emailed, we've gone in person, and we've told the MWRD, don't work with this mayor. He does not follow the law. He is not ethical. Why do you think Carrie Steele and the MWRD they still insist on pushing this project on Myrtle with the mayor? Do they stand to gain something personally from this?
Yes, they've been planning this for a long time. They didn't tell the residents in 2019. They knew about it then. Chris Clark has a close relationship with Carrie Steele's husband, according to community sources. He was the one who was the moderator for the debate between Anthony McCaskill and Chris Clark for the 2023 election, and Chris Clark didn't show up because he didn't answer questions then, he didn't answer them in the past, and he's not answering them today. So we believe the people of the city of Harvey community leaders believe that she is in collusion with Chris Clark, that they are planning on stealing money from the federal government, wetting their beaks, and this probably be their biggest payoff. Chris Clark is struggling financially in the city of Harvey. He has extorted all the liquor stores. He's extorted all the churches. He's extorting the residents. He has closed down all the business. He's running out of ways to come up with substantial amounts of money. Not being able to pass state audits, that kills the grant money. Nobody's going to trust him with a dime. This is his big thing. He was up just this yesterday, Saturday. Chris Clark has never known the people, the employees of the city of Harvey on Friday at 3 p.m. You can forget it. You're not going to see not one of them. He was up early in the morning Saturday here taking pictures of their residents' home. These elderly people are telling you that they don't want to move. They're telling you that it's tearing their family apart. They're telling you that it's hurting them. It's telling them that they don't have enough time. You knew you didn't give them enough time because you could have told them in 2019. But you knew it was wrong in 2019 and you didn't want to tell them because you knew you wouldn't be reelected in 2023 and you barely won. The people of the city of Harvey missed out on the Anthony McCaskill administration. None of these things, there will be hundreds of people alive. This project for Kerry Steele and WMRD, everyone on the WMRD board, we believe is not corrupt. We just believe that the entire board there has been compromised by the corruption that comes out of the city of Harvey. And it is very, very contagious, like a plague. At what happens with the corruption that's coming out of City Hall. Chris Clark really believes that he is going to be Thornton Township president. He believes he's going to be a Cook County judge. He believes he doesn't have to show people who he is. He believes he doesn't have to take a fingerprint. He was allowed to shoot weapons in the city of Chicago. The city of Chicago police were starstruck that this was the mayor of Harvey. He fired a weapon. He didn't have an FOID card. He didn't have they didn't check the weapon, take the weapon from him. They didn't fingerprint him. They didn't take him to jail.
Wow.
When has anybody been able to fire a weapon in the city of Chicago and not be held accountable? This man that he allegedly saved from robbery, you never seen him on an interview. You never seen him say, "Oh, thank Mayor Clark, they was trying to rob me." You never saw this man. You never got reports of his name. All bullshit. And I hold the city of Chicago, mainly Lori Lightfoot, she was mayor at the time, that allowed him to put the people of the city of Chicago at risk. And he was not held accountable. And if that's looked into, we believe Chris Clark is a criminal. We believe he is a felon with multiple felonies out of the state of North Carolina. We believe that he has a felony case where possibly the death of an unborn child. We have been investigating this for the last 4 years, and we're getting close to getting the true identity of Christopher Clarence Clark.
And can you tell us, have you faced any personal threats or do you know of anybody else in Harvey? Obviously, I mean, I was arrested, Colby was arrested twice, but as far as, threats or intimidation because you're criticizing the mayor and bringing up these issues?
I fear nothing in the city of Harvey. I don't fear corruption. I don't fear the uncertified cops that run around and threaten the general public. One thing I do is stay away from them. Corruption is nothing good coming out of City Hall. I was the first person to tell people in the city of Harvey to not do public gathering. Chris Clark was predicted by Anthony McCaskill's administration when he won in 2019 that he would not be able to protect the women and the residents of the city of Harvey, and that has rang true. I have been actually shot in the city of Harvey 3 times.
Oh, wow. And
after you have been a victim of violent crime in the city of Harvey for that many times, you grow immune. Nothing that Chris Clark has, any of his corrupt police officers, any of them, if they approach me, I'm gonna want their card immediately. We're gonna do this. The people of the state of Illinois are not going to continue to tolerate rogue officers. You're not certified by the people of the state of Illinois. That means you're not a certified officer. And we are calling on judges. They want to be retained, but they are entertaining cases in the 6th District of Markham from officers from the city of Harvey that the people of the state of Illinois rejected as being officers. So how can you write me a speeding ticket, a parking ticket, arrest me on a felony case? How can you do these things and you're not a certified officer approved by the Illinois Training Board? How can you do these things? How can an officer that should not have been driving a squad car, that should not have had on a badge, chase the young Dampier young girl from the gas station on 159th and Harvey to Hazel Crest, causing her to crash and burn in her vehicle? The holidays are coming up. There are many victims of violent crime and murder in the city of Harvey, and Chris Clark is responsible. We're calling on the new state's attorney, Elaine Burke O'Neill, to bring criminal charges against that officer who killed the young Dampier girl in Hazel Crest, causing her to die in a fiery death. Chris Clark authorized. He gave this officer the authority to wear a City of Harvey badge and to be in a City of Harvey police car and work in the capacity as an officer, even though the people of the state of Illinois rejected him as an officer, even though he was not certified by the Illinois State Training Board. This young woman lost her life. And we are calling on Elaine Burke O'Neill to bring criminal charges against Chris Clark. If Elaine Burke O'Neill refuses to bring criminal charges against Chris Clark, you know where she stands. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And there's a lot of crime and violence that happened in the city of Harvey that's been overlooked. And even though Kim Foxx remained quiet and she allowed these criminals to have these badges, they still disrespected her on her way out of the door. We expected her to give us one last act and to remove these uncertified officers from the city of Harvey. We expect our sheriff to take over the department until some certified officers can be brought in by the state of Illinois. These are the things that the people of the city of Harvey are asking. It's not a lot to ask from elected officials that are enjoying taxpayers' monies and their salaries in a direct deposit. This is what the people of the city of Harvey ask for. They are asking for protection from a wicked and corrupt administration.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. One other question I was going to ask. Oh, can you comment on the as far as drugs and gangs go? And we have heard accusations that the mayor's not only not shutting down these illegal drug operations that are endangering residents, but that he's actually encouraging them. Have you heard any reports of that? Do you think is there any truth to that?
Harvey, Illinois Voters Bloc has conducted a thorough investigation into the One Stop Liquor Store. There's a man in the One Stop Liquor Store who calls himself George. That's not his real name. His real name is some name. A lot of people in the city of Harvey revere him. He is solely responsible for alcoholism in the city of Harvey, as he allows Harvey residents are able to take their Illinois Link cards while they're suffering from alcohol abuse, go into One Stop Liquor and purchase any type of liquor and cigarette products with Illinois State Link. The state of Illinois is allowing him to do that, even though he's been busted and sanctioned, but he continues to do it. Also, George from the One Stop Liquor Store, you will go past, you will see Chris Clark leaning over his desk as if George is king. We have information that George is bringing in this deadly drugs that's laced with fentanyl. This fentanyl is putting into the hands of Harvey, exactly what you said, gangbangers that are close to the people in City Hall. They take pictures with the people of the City Hall hugged up. They are selling these fentanyl-laced drugs to people around in the 154th Street area. There have been over 100 deaths that we have documented, and we had to go to the medical examiner's report, that have died from fentanyl-related deaths, dropped dead. And only in this area. The area is, every time you hear about somebody dying, it's in this 154th Street area. And we believe that these deadly fentanyl drugs are being brought in by George and being gave to a street source that we have information that I won't divulge at this time. And these people have more bodies on their belt from killing people from these drugs than a serial killer.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, no, thank you for sharing all this with us today. Chris, is there anything else that we didn't touch on? We can always talk to you at another time.
Copy that.
But yeah, thank you for sharing. We know you have your ear to a lot of what's going on in Harvey, and probably our number one priority time-wise right now is just to bring attention to this, to this block, this street, and these folks' homes, because really there's no reason for these people to lose their homes. We have Dixie Square, we have where Lowell Longfellow was. There's so many areas that are just sitting wide and empty, and there's, put a pond there if you want a pond. Look at all the homeless people that I see constantly walking on 153rd, people using drugs. We should reuse it and make it housing, a community center for the arts. I mean, oh my God, like people, they're just on the street not being cared for. And then Clark wants to knock down buildings to put a pond in a park. We don't need another park. Oh, I wanted to ask you one other thing before we leave, Chris. Can you comment on the criticism that some have said Mayor Clark is pursuing this pond in the Central Park project because it's a personal vendetta against his one of his rivals, Anthony McCaskill, who is over they're involved with the park district, the McCaskill.
Anthony McCaskill is a politician in the city of Harvey. He came close to being mayor of the city of Harvey several times. He almost won against Eric J. Kellogg, and he almost beat Chris Clark 2 times. In 2019 and 2023. A lot of moving around going on around here. Good people of the city of Harvey. You got to be paying attention to what's happening, to be aware, to be alive in the city of Harvey. Let's go back to that question, Ryan. Next question.
Oh no, that was it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Did you have anything more to say about the? We heard complaints that people were saying, why is Chris Clark doing this? This is because he wants control of the parks, and he can't have the parks.
The block on 153rd and Myrtle is predominantly elderly people. Homeowners in the city of Harvey support Chris Clark. Chris Clark, most of his support from Harvey residents are the residents who live in the senior citizens buildings. That's why he's building a new building. His success comes from the Roby building. It comes from the YMCA building. Homeowners in the city of Harvey support Anthony L. McCaskill. They did in 2019. They did in 2023. Chris Clark's attack is against homeowners. He wants a whole lot of apartment buildings so he could threaten apartment buildings on. That's another thing that they do, this elder abuse. They tell residents at election time, oh, you'll lose your housing if you don't vote for me, and scare people into voting for him.
Okay.
So this is a personal vendetta against McCaskill. A lot of people on this block did have McCaskill signs in their yard. And Chris Clark, as he knows that his support wasn't on this block, so he definitely wants to hurt the girls, mostly of the elderly people, their daughters, since he is always nitpicking with females. That's what's important to him. He's not on business. It's just to nitpick with the little girls around the city of Harvey, and it's not getting any business.
And do you think it's true that he wants the Central Park here because he doesn't have control of the park district, so he has to have a park for himself?
He does run for control. We do have information that he has a team together. They are trying to run for the park district to get the board members in the park district to dissolve itself and to put themselves in the possession of the city of Harvey. The problem with that is Chris Clark can't keep an alleyway clean. he doesn't have it in him. He can't get the job done. And Chris Clark is getting older. I've been around, been watching him since, he was 35. Now he's pushing 60. And the way he moves so slow in service, he will not get anything accomplished he's saying he's going to get accomplished. His jealousy of Anthony McCaskill because of McCaskill's success in the village of Dixmoor, his financial success at the Park District, the audits are always on point. They are before the state even asked them. The new financial reports and audits coming to the library. McCaskill is someone that Chris Clark is definitely politically envious of.
Thank you, Chris.
You are welcome.
We'll do another
Thank you,
session
good
with
people of the city of Harvey.
All right, everybody. Good night.